The company party, same room, same drinks, same music. Your boss walks the floor. He stops at the first person. Handshake, first name. Asks about the vacation, laughs at something that wasn't that funny. He stops at the second person. Nod. Good work this week, keeps moving. He stops at the third. Stay after. I want to loop you in on something. To everyone in that room, he said some version of the same thing. You matter here. You're part of the team. We're glad you're with us. He meant it differently each time. Your salary does not just determine what you earn, it determines who you are in the calculation running in the back of your boss's mind. The one he never reads out loud. The one that shapes every conversation. Every review, every decision that gets made about you before you walk into the room. 5 salary levels, 5 completely different versions of you. Same company, same boss, different math. Level 1, $30,000, you are a line item. Monday morning, your boss opens a spreadsheet. Column A, names. Column B, salaries. Column C, department budget remaining. Your name is in row 14. The number next to it is $30,000. Frase 4. He does not linger on row 14, he moves to the totals. This is what $30,000 looks like from the other side of the desk. Not a person with goals and rent and a commute that takes 40 minutes each way. A number in a column next to other numbers. A unit of labor attached to a cost. The mechanism at this level is specific. Your replacement cost. The actual dollar figure your boss could reference if he needed to hire someone to sit where you sit is between $4,000 and $6,000. A job posting, a few hours of interviews, 2 weeks of onboarding. The math is not cruel, it is just math, and it runs automatically in the background, whether your boss is conscious of it or not. The average tenure at the $30,000 level is 14 months. Your boss knows this. Not because he tracked it, but because he has seen it enough times that it became an assumption. People at this level leave. They get slightly better offers somewhere else, or they burn out, or they simply move. The organization plans around this, not maliciously, practically. What this means in practice, the one-on-one where he tells you you're doing great is not a lie. It is a management tool. The smile is real. The calculation behind it is also real. The two exist at the same time without contradiction. The decisions that affect your work, the restructure, the new software, the team that absorbs your function, are made in rooms you are not invited to by people who did not think to invite you. Not because you are excluded, but because you are not yet part of the calculation that produces those decisions. At $30,000, you are not invisible. You are just not a variable anyone is solving for. Level 2, $60,000, you are a resource with metrics. The performance review is at 2 p.m. Your boss is in the room when you arrive. He already has your numbers on the screen. He did not pull them up to prepare a speech. He pulled them up to know where he stands before you do. At $60,000, something has shifted. You are no longer just a line item. You are a tracked line item. There is a dashboard somewhere with your name on it, and figures attached to that name: output volume, utilization rate, project completion percentage, response time. Your boss looks at this dashboard more than he looks at you. The reason is simple. You cost enough now that someone in finance notices if the return is unclear. You are not expensive enough to protect, but you are expensive enough to monitor. This is the most exposed position in the employment structure. You earn enough that your departure is mildly inconvenient. You do not earn enough that it triggers an emergency. You sit in the middle, tracked, compared, and quietly evaluated against what a workflow, a contractor, or an AI tool could produce at a lower monthly cost. In 2026, the majority of managers with teams in the $55,000 to $70,000 range have been asked by their organizations to evaluate which functions at that level can be partially or fully automated. This is not a future scenario. It is a current directive that most employees in that range are not aware of. Your boss is not your enemy, but his incentives are not your incentives. His review includes a line about operational efficiency. Yours does not. The thing that protects you at $60,000 is not loyalty. Loyalty does not show up on the dashboard. What shows up on the dashboard is output, speed, and cost per result. The employees at this level who survive restructuring are the ones whose metrics made the argument for them, without anyone having to advocate out loud. Your boss will not fight for you based on how much he likes you. He will fight for you if the numbers make the case. Know your numbers before he reads them to you. Level 3. $100,000, you are an investment. The budget meeting is on Thursday. You are not in it. Your name comes up anyway. Your boss is defending headcount. Someone from finance wants to reduce the team by 2 positions. Your boss says your name, not to be kind-eyed, to make an argument. He says what you built, what it would cost to replace it. How long it took to get you functional at the level you're at now. This is what changes at $100,000. For the first time, you exist in rooms where you are not present, and you exist in your favor. The replacement calculation at this level is a different number. Recruiting fees, lost productivity during transition, onboarding time. The institutional knowledge that leaves with you and takes 6 months to rebuild. The true cost of replacing a $100,000 employee runs between $25,000 and $40,000. Before the new hire reaches your output level, your boss knows this number. His budget knows this number. The organization has an incentive now to keep you that it did not have at $30,000. Retention rates at the $100,000 level are significantly higher than at lower salary bands. Not because people are more satisfied, but because companies work harder to keep them. The exit interviews at lower levels go into a shared document that nobody reads. A departure at $100,000 generates a meeting. The relationship with your boss has changed in a way that is subtle and important. He hired you. That means your performance reflects on his judgment. He has a stake in your success that he did not have in the performance of the person he inherited. When you do well, his decision to hire you was correct. When you struggle, he has reason to help you stabilize. Before the situation becomes a problem, he has to explain upward. You are not a friend, you are not a peer, but you are for the first time an investment that your boss is managing. And investments get treated differently than expenses. Level 4, $200,000, you are a risk to be managed. You update your LinkedIn profile on a Tuesday afternoon. You are not looking for a job. You are adding a certification. It takes 4 minutes. Your boss gets an alert. He does not mention it to you. He calls HR within the hour. This is the $200,000 version of the relationship. You have become what org charts call a key person dependency, a single point of failure in a system that was built around your specific knowledge, your specific relationships, your specific judgment. Your departure does not create a vacancy. It creates a problem. The retention package that arrives 3 weeks later. The equity refresh, the expanded title, the conversation about your future here was not generated by loyalty or appreciation. It was generated by a risk assessment. Someone ran the numbers on what happens to 3 ongoing projects if you are not there in 6 months. The retention package is the cost of that insurance. The autonomy you now have, the lack of micromanagement, the flexibility in your schedule, the way your boss defers to your read on certain decisions is also not entirely trust. It is partly the recognition that managing you too tightly increases the probability that you leave. You have leverage now that you did not have at earlier levels, and the way your boss interacts with you reflects that leverage without either of you naming it directly. 78% of organizations above a certain size maintain what HR departments call a critical talent list, a confidential register of individuals whose departure would require immediate escalation to senior leadership. If you earn $200,000 and have been in your role for more than 2 years, there is a reasonable probability your name is on that list. The relationship changed not because your boss likes you more. It changed because you became expensive to lose. That is a different kind of value. And it is worth understanding clearly because it has different implications than the kind that comes from being liked. Level 5, $300,000. You are a political variable. The one-on-one is on Wednesday at 10 a.m. You have had this meeting every 2 weeks for 3 years. Something is different today. Your boss asks your opinion before offering his. Not because he became more collaborative, because the calculation around you changed. At $300,000, you are no longer an employee in the way that term usually functions. You are a power center inside the organization, a node with budget authority, team loyalty, client relationships, and institutional knowledge that cannot be easily extracted or transferred. You have influence that exists independently of your title, and your boss is aware of this in a way that shapes every interaction. The question your boss is running, not consciously but structurally, is no longer about your output or your retention risk. It is about your position in the organizational map relative to his. Are you a successor? A threat to his budget in the next planning cycle? An ally in a political situation he is navigating upward? A competitor for the role above his? This sounds abstract until you notice the specifics. Which meetings you are included in and which you are not. Whether you are introduced to his superiors or kept at a careful distance. whether he shares information about organizational decisions before they are finalized or after. These details are not random. They are signals of how he has categorized you in the current political configuration. At $300,000, every conversation with your boss is a two-directional exchange. You are not receiving information, you are exchanging it. Your read of a situation has weight, your support of a direction has consequences. He knows this, you should too. Your boss doesn't think about you, he thinks about your cost. One person. 5 different versions in the mind of one boss, depending on the number in the offer letter. The version at $30,000 is a cost to be managed. The version at $60,000 is a metric to be monitored. The version at $100,000 is an investment to be protected. The version at $200,000 is a risk to be retained. The version at $300,000 is a variable in a political equation. None of these versions are the full picture of who you are. All of them are real. The mistake most people make is assuming the relationship with their employer is simpler than it is. That good work produces loyalty, that loyalty produces protection, that protection produces opportunity. Sometimes it does. More often, the sequence runs through a calculation that most employees never see. And most employers never describe out loud. Knowing the calculation does not make you cynical. It makes you accurate. And accuracy about how you are seen is the first requirement for changing how you are valued. The math is already running. The only question is whether you know what it says about you